Okay. So good afternoon, Jessica. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Sylvette. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So obviously today we're going to have a little chat to see how you're getting along with the products. And because you're famous, all the customers are asking me about your famous wraps, and how
Yeah.
to make them and love your ingredients. So I thought it'd be nice to have a little catch up so you can tell us a bit more about your creativity, what you do, a bit more about
hmm
yourself and how you're finding using our products. So let's start by you
Okay.
introducing yourself.
Okay. I'm Jess. I'm married to Dean. We live in Hertfordshire. We've got two children. Archie's 14, Jasmine's 17. And Archie, like eats me out of house and home. He's just always hungry and always working out. And hence we've ended up, using your products because it is just like a constant battle to keep him fed. Yeah. So I'm a garden designer as well, part-time. And yeah, that's about it, me really.
Okay.
Interested in health and looking after ourselves.
Absolutely. So I'm going to shoot the first question at you. And the first question
Yeah.
is, um, why have you chosen our products and what benefits has it had on your family?
Okay. Well, we had given up bread products altogether, so we weren't eating any bread products. So we just kind of thought, right, that's it. Really, we're not going to eat that anymore. We'd have something else for lunch, And then I spoke to your husband, and he said, "Well, what are you doing for bread?" And I said, "Well, we just don't eat it anymore." And then he was like, "I'll give you some samples," and that was it. We were just like hooked after that because, as I say, we'd given it up, but it's so convenient being able to have the bread and the wraps and things
Yeah.
like that. It's just, so actually it was just such a game changer for us. And especially because of like packed lunches, I was giving Archie chicken, salad and things like that. But, being the age he is, he just they walk around at lunchtime. They don't sit down. So he wasn't really able to eat anything on the go. So the wraps were just ideal because I could make him a wrap. He could just walk around with his mates. They're all eating sandwiches, he can eat his lunch. So yeah, it was absolutely perfect. It's just been so good for us, all of us.
So as a bulk buyer, because you buy loads, talk us through
Yeah.
that process in terms of preparation to finished product. So how do you store the product, most importantly, because you're buying in bulk,
hmm
and then how do you then
Yeah.
transform that into a meal?
Okay, so my freezer is just full of your products. I haven't got anything else pretty much in my freezer. Um, and I do cook them from frozen. So just I pull out a pack, put a knife in between, split one off, couple off, and straight in the frying pan. They don't really take that much longer from frozen than they do just from fresh out the fridge. I mean, when we were at school, I was having a pack in the fridge and I would just go through them in the week. But now we're not at school, so we're not having wraps like maybe every day like we were before, because I was making my daughter and my son one every day, and actually my husband was having one pretty much as well, so I was getting through quite a lot. But now it's not quite as regular as that, so just keep them in the freezer, take it out, pop them in the frying pan. But we are having them for lunch and breakfast sometimes, so yeah, we're getting through them, but yeah.
So tell me what you talked about preparing the wraps. So how easy is it to prepare the wraps and what sort of ingredients do you put in there? Because I mean, most of the time people tell me, I don't know how to fill the wrap. And they look at the images that I create or other customers create and they're inspired. And particularly with your images, they were like, oh, I didn't know I can put that in, or I didn't know we could put this in. Just talk us through what you would use. What sort of ingredients would you use and why?
So at the moment, quite often we're doing like a breakfast wrap. So I would just cook up I had some really thin like chipolata sausages and some bacon. So I was just frying those and then just doing a fried egg. You could do scrambled as well, but it was easy, just do a fried egg and then putting the bacon, a couple of sausages in, cutting the fried egg in half, putting that in and just wrapping it up like an egg and bacon wrap in the morning. So they're going down an absolute storm. Jasmine has ketchup in hers, like Dr. Will's. They do really good ketchup.
Yeah.
so she's having that. And then at lunchtime, either like a tuna with some tuna mayo with a bit of chopped onions, some salad. Archie doesn't like tuna, so what would I do for him at lunchtime? Trying to think now. Sometimes we do like a sweet one with like almond butter, banana. That's quite nice. It's like a little treat. Archie, what do you like in your wrap? Chicken. Yeah, chicken. So that's what I was doing now when he was at school. So I would cook up like a big batch of like I'd get some boneless skinless chicken thighs, just marinate them, chuck them in the oven, cook those, and then let them go cold, keep them in the fridge, and then I'd just shred those with some salad, lettuce, bit of grated carrot, things like that. He doesn't like mayonnaise, so it's, you know, it's like putting extra things in, like a bit of diced cucumber and carrot, things like that, to keep it like a bit more moist. But for Jazz, she likes the mayo, so I just make like chicken mayo and tuna mayo. Yeah.
So lots of ideas there that people can actually grab from and get some snippets of what to do, what they can't do. Because I find when I make them, everyone goes, "Oh, I've never thought about that," or "Oh my God, it tastes so good." And I'm like, but you can actually do the same by just improvising and just using what you have. If it's leftover turkey or leftover meat, it's this, just throw it in with some veg or salad or even a stir fry. Even things like quinoa you can put in there, and some beans as well. You know,
good idea.
vegan option, plantain. You know, I put lots of veg in there with Nathan's, the kids ones, so they get their 5 a day. And just still fry it in there, so it helps. But I quite like your ideas. I mean, your images have gone down quite a hit on Instagram, which is lovely to see that people are reacting nicely to seeing different concepts of meals. I quite enjoyed that. It was quite fun to see people interacting. So the next question is, do you have a favorite wrap? So
I like the vegetable ones. Oh, Dean's just told me he likes the vegetable ones. Yeah, the vegetable ones are nice and they smell so good when you're frying them as well, when you're heating them up. They give off such a nice aroma.
Yes.
Beetroot ones are lovely, like to look at. They're nice purple. They're so lovely.
Yeah.
And the white ones, the coconut ones, you know, they quite funny when you make, you know, I cooked them for Archie once and he was like, "Oh my God, it just looks like a normal wrap," you know, because it just looks like all his friends are quite fascinated with his food. They're always like, "Oh, let me have a taste of your lunch, Archie." It's quite funny. He comes back and tells me. But I think maybe he was going to talk to me about the I'm jumping ahead here, but it's just like a funny story that we run out of your wraps once and had to buy some from the supermarket. And there's only one make that I could find that was sort of all right, but it had so many ingredients. I mean, the list went on, and half of them I'd never heard of, you know, couldn't pronounce, God knows what was in it, but they were so horrible. And they just came home from school and was like, "What was that you gave me?" It was like really disgusting. So yeah, I made sure now that I don't run out.
Yeah. It's funny. We had a different client of ours who, you know, they're a married couple and they buy their own products separately. And I remember the husband ran out and took some of his wife wraps, and he made some sandwiches, some wraps to go to work. And she rang me to say that her husband needs to place an order to replace the one that he used. So people become quite territorial when it comes to, you know, it was so funny. I was like, she was actually quite serious, but it was actually quite a nice compliment for her to tell me that, you know, her husband took her wrap and, you know, he'd run out, so she can't do it.
No, the kids were very, very angry with me that day. Like, they came home like, "What did you give me for lunch? That was horrible." Not impressed.
Love it. So so I love that, the fact that your family enjoys it, particularly the kids, because a lot of times people ask me, you know, would kids eat it? And I'm saying absolutely yes. I think it's better for them. It's healthier because of the health benefits. So cassava it releases the glucose quite slowly into the bloodstream. So as an athlete, it's what you should be eating, particularly before and after training, because it replenishes the cells. So people are always fascinated when I say that that's all my kids have. And it's right, and that's what athletes should be eating. Do you find that when the kids have it, that they're full for a period of time?
Oh, they're so filling. yeah, they really, really are filling. I mean, I actually can't eat a whole one. I normally make a wrap and then cut it in half, and I'll just have half. You know,
Yeah.
that is enough for me, because the wraps themselves are really filling, and
Yeah.
that's what we found when we did have that day where we had to buy these other ones. They were so thin, and they were so much smaller as well in diameter and
Yeah.
thinner. You know, there was, when I'd made the wrap, it was like half the amount what I normally give them for lunch. So what they're having is a really substantial lunch with your wraps. And as I say, I can't eat a whole one because they are so filling. So just the wrap itself is a good meal, let alone, you know, what else you put inside it. So very filling.
Thank you. Would you recommend this, and why?
I definitely recommend you. I have recommended you. It's a shame that we're so far away, but it's worth coming doing the trip. I have to get more organised next time, and so I shared your website with some family and said, you know, choose what you want, and I'll go down and grab it all. But so yeah, I need to get a bit more organised with that. But definitely recommend you. The wraps, I think they're the only products on the market. I haven't found anything anywhere else that compares. You know, all the free from wraps and all of that, they're just, you know, they're still full of rubbish, really.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm, you know, so grateful, as I say, because they're the only things that we've found that we would be willing to eat, really, you know, in terms of that kind of bread product.
Fantastic. It's amazing listening to customers' feedback, because we know that what we're doing is right. Because when we created the products with the view to actually having a healthier alternative to food than having our food filled with so many different artificial flavors and emulsifiers that actually do a lot of damage to the body. So our thought process was to actually create something far better, far superior. So it's nice when we actually get that feedback where people know that there's actually a better option out there, and their family can eat better, and should be eating better, and just don't settle for less, and what's available on the market. So thank you
Definitely.
so much for
No,
having a
thank
chat
you
with
so
me
much.
today.
Thank you so much for making them.
It was a pleasure. So I'm gonna,
Yes.
I think everyone is gonna be waiting for this video because it talks so much about you. So I will look forward to catching up with you again, to see how you prepare. So the next step is to show everyone how you prepare your lovely meals. And I think they'll be excited to see that. So will I. Maybe I can get some tips as well.
I better do a bit of practicing, I think. Get some new recipes on them.
Absolutely. So it was lovely catching up with you today. So have a good day.
And you. So